Alright everyone, time to talk a little bit about a concept, a phenomenon that I've touched on before, but I don't think I've actually made a full video on it. Probably a little bit of an oversight on my part, considering how important it is to understand this. And that's that corporate wokeness is a ruse. It's basically nothing more than an advertising strategy. I'll explain it in brief, but it's fairly simple to understand. Corporations are incepted to make money, to grow, to be able to provide for themselves, to make a profit. If they don't, they generally stop existing, unless the government helps to prop them up. There are examples of this. Of course, that's even worse because the government involves itself with wokeness as much as corporations, and sometimes arguably more. Here's what you do. You're a corporatist. Your business has a brand that's under fire for child slavery or not allowing its workers to unionize. Well, you just insert wokeness. You have woke politics in the workplace and it splits people apart. It keeps them unable to organize to seriously challenge your organization. If a group tries to unionize, if it based on its racial component, it'll probably fall apart, or based on gender or something. Consumers will want your product because the low info people that actually believe that a corporation can be woke and that it's not just using it as a ruse to sell more product or to guard its brand and to keep brand loyalty, they'll gobble it up. They're low info. Specifically, leftoids. They are the lowest info bloc among the population. They always have been. People who situationally trust corporations, usually after long stints of saying that they're the devil, and who want more government, tend to be the least intelligent people in society, which is also why they're the most vociferous about their opinions. This is, when you look at a curve of intelligence, and find, bless you, the people that'll talk mostly about issues related to sociopolitics, they're either at the quite educated end, not necessarily like in general, but on that issue, like knowledgeable about the subject, or they're the least knowledgeable. The leftoids would be the least knowledgeable about socio-political topics, which is why they're all a bunch of sophists. Some of them have a good command of English, and so they just talk forever without actually saying anything. Now, before I get into this further, because I can give a couple of basic examples, of course. Keep in mind, down below, if you're watching this video on YouTube, there will be links to other video hosting sites that I use in a pinned comment. Keep in mind, I make exclusive content every single day on those platforms that doesn't go on YouTube. Sometimes it can't. Sometimes it's just, I'm trying to get people to use other better platforms. I'm approaching 60,000 subscribers on Rumble. I don't even think I've been on the platform for a year actually now. So big things are ahead. Hitting that mark soon on Odyssey as well. I can't remember what I'm at on BitChute. It's getting up towards 150,000. Corporate wokeness is a branding strategy. When we see like a corporation, some people misinterpret it. Conservatives do this. Conservatives, traditionalists, whatever you want to term that sort of amorphous blob. They'll say, well, you look, this corporation's got the gay pride flag. Satan is taking over the country. They don't give a shit about gay rights. They don't care one bit. That's why their Twitter handle for Abu Dhabi didn't change to the gay pride flag. The only purpose is to sell their product. And it works. It gets you talking about it too. It's a similar phenomenon. You see, all attention is good attention when you have that kind of brand. One group of people is more likely to buy their product. The other group maybe is slightly less likely to buy it. Hush, hush. Most of them will still buy it anyway, like Crapple or Nike or something. But they're still talking about it. This is similar to a phenomenon that I covered actually in my Occult series, the Occult General videos that I do, on specifically occult symbolism in music videos, movies, and things like that. Like when you watch Dark Horse by Katy Perry or Judas by Lady Gaga, and I find it hilarious that the music videos especially that really trigger people tend to be like the mainstream pop and like dance hip-hop music. There's a whole world of actual occult music out there, either on the literalist end or on the really over-the-top like fucking black metal and gore grind end. That all gets ignored in favor of high-budget productions. Why? Because they insert symbolism there in order to get people talking. If I put 666 in my music video, which of course, knowing me, I probably would, it's a great idea because people who are old fundamentalists with suspenders and shit, I hate to use a stereotype, but that is a thing. that generally listen to country western or gospel music or something will still be talking about my video. If it didn't have that symbolism, they wouldn't give a shit. But if I call myself Satan incarnate and I have a bunch of Masonic hand signs flashing in my video, they'll be talking about it on their forums too. Well, that gets me extra attention. It makes me more notorious. It drives me up in the algorithmic rankings in the internet age, and it's basically the equivalent of tabloid stink piece clickbait like you see from CNN and garbage like that. It doesn't have to be even a talented song. Some of the most notorious modern music is completely talentless swill that apparently a lot of the time is ghostwritten by some old Swedish dude. I didn't know that. I saw something about it years ago. There's some middle-aged Swedish dude who ghostwrites half of the hits on the pop station that you hear worldwide. Well, that's, more astroturfing. It's basically the same with corporate wokeness. You're distracting people. It's just smoke and mirrors. There's no actual wokeness. They don't care. They would be the same kind of people that would pander instantaneously to traditionalism if they thought that it would make them more money. They used to do this, by the way. But here's the problem. What worked in the 50s and 60s branding-wise doesn't work anymore. It used to be it'd be God and country, basically. Our cigarettes are the most patriotic. Our butcher shop is more Jesus-loving than the competing butcher shop down the road. That was basically it. And so you competed because of the early Cold War sentiment. Once that petered out, IDPOL began being inserted. First, it's mainly class struggle. You see differentials branching out in advertising then, and now race and all these other things that really, leftoids especially, have been completely conned because they were the ones fighting to ignore that sort of thing and be like one people under God and love beads and stuff. They've left the summer of '69 behind them. Now these low info peons, these moronic lemmings, are the ones mainly promulgating what they used to fight. And you can see, therefore, why they're the lowest info bloc in the entire country. Yes, they're more ignorant than the most ignorant. Again, stereotypes aside, there are some people like this, right? You may have even met them. Extremely close-minded, hyper-ignorant, highly opinionated about things that they don't fucking understand. Extreme right traditionalism, which does still exist in some rural areas of the country. I don't mean just, they believe in God. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying people who are genuinely deficient in their intellectual capabilities. They're more intelligent than the average leftoid, including the leftoids that get a college education. They're stupid enough to believe a piece of paper makes them intelligent. Most of the time, within a couple of years, they can't tell you anything that they learned. But they're smarter than you. They assure you of this on a regular basis. And that's why you too should believe in corporate wokeness. It's all right. Yeah, Nike uses raw materials from Uyghur concentration camps, put together by Manchurian 12-year-old child slaves, or more likely Vietnamese and Filipinos who were shanghaied and brought in illegally. That's okay. And it's overpriced. I don't think they have factory unionization. I bought them anyway because, I'm woke. They said that they support trans rights. I bought my Starbucks Crappuccino. It was $7 or $8. Yeah, I realize it's environmentally exploitative, and all of these non-disposable, non-reusable cups are destroying the environment, like the K-cup thing. But they're woke. They support the right of lesbians to exist, as though that wasn't already a thing. As though they took the floor on it. It's sort of like watching the Democratic Party. They pretend we were on the forefront of legalizing gay marriage. No, the Supreme Court did that, and the original people fighting for that were a bunch of libertarians. The leftoids completely screwed the pooch on the issue. It really wasn't until the end of the 90s that it becomes a cultural phenomenon in the Democratic Party. I can say the same about the Republicans, though. They're not at the forefront of gun rights, but I'm sure that when concealed carry is nationwide, probably in the next few months, I'm sure that they'll proclaim that they are the pro-gun party. And it'll be the most fucking hilarious thing ever. And plenty of low-info voters are Republicans, too. Let's not mince words. That's about all. Peace out.